Hello, this is Andrew Becker, and today I'm going to be going over the anatomy of a sheep brain, specifically these structures right here. All right, so here's our sheep brain. I bisected it into the right and the left hemispheres. We'll start with the lobes of the cerebrum. First up is the frontal lobe. That's going to be the most anterior lobe right there. Superior and posterior to that, we're going to have the parietal lobe. The posterior most lobe is the occipital lobe. And then this little outpouching on the lateral side, that's going to be the temporal lobe. This guy hanging out back here, that's the cerebellum, controls our fine motor functions. The longitudinal fissure divides the two hemispheres, and I cut right down that in order to show a better view of the internal structures. Joining the two is the corpus callosum. That's going to be a band of neural tissue that joins the two hemispheres, and it runs just superior to the lateral ventricle right here. On the surface of the brain, you see the little ridges and folds. The deep fissures, those are the sulci, and the ridges are the gyri. Now, the anatomy is not the same as a human, so I can't point out the central sulcus, the post and pre-central gyri, but trust me, they're there. All right. Next up, we have the structures of the brainstem, starting most posteriorly with the medulla oblongata. That's this bit right here. This is actually the spinal cord. Then we move up, this little outpouching right here, that would demarcate the pons. And superior to that, we have the midbrain. All right, once we get through the brainstem, we enter the region of the thalamus. That's this region right here, just inferior to the lateral ventricle. And then at the bottom of the thalamus, we have the hypothalamus, and that's eventually going to connect up to our pituitary gland. Okay, what else do we have? I kind of took a little slice off the side here so I could better show you guys the distinction between the gray matter and the white matter, and that's what causes that distinction is the difference in myelination. So gray matter contains unmyelinated neurons. White matter is very myelinated. The cortex actually covers the entire surface of the cerebrum, and that's all gray matter. And deep to that, we get more white matter. And last but not least, we have our meninges. I left them intact on this hemisphere so we get a better view. This very tough fibrous layer, that's the outer meningeal layer, the dura mater. And then on this guy, I don't know if it'll be fine enough to see, but in between this transverse fissure here, the meninges actually penetrate into this and help separate the cerebellum from the cerebrum. And you can see the little bits of connective tissue that's connecting the arachnoid matter, which is still attached to the surface here, to the dura mater. And then deep to that is a very thin layer known as the pia mater, and that's actually going to be way too thin to dissect off of this and show you guys. Okay, that about sums it up. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you all for the next one.